A certain viral condiment on TikTok has exposed the dangerous sacrifice that comes with individuals entering the food business.
The pink sauce sold.
I f with it.
And that's consumer safety. But is the backlash against TikTok's notorious sauce warranted?
Pink sauce is canceled.
From seemingly unsafe contents,
I'm about to throw up. Turn the video off.
to rumors of alleged hospitalizations,
Look where I ended up.
are social media users throwing a small business under the bus for clout? In a story that has the internet baffled and a creator scrambling to provide answers,
What do you mean FDA approved? I don't sell medical products.
is a happy ending still possible?
I'm genuinely scared for the people consuming this.
Let's uncover the truth behind the viral pink sauce. Meet the internet's stickiest obsession, pink sauce. The liquid that evokes the semi-nauseating imagery of tubby custard and Pepto-Bismol has become fodder for a good share of viral social media posts. But with jabs that state the condiment's clientele would just as soon eat at the chum bucket, questions about whether their disregard for food safety measures is the reason why the pandemic lasted so long, and implications that lives are at risk, is there a gravity behind the trending topic that Twitter's 280-character limit just can't fully articulate? To understand what could be at stake for connoisseurs of the pigmented fluid, first we'll have to answer one question. What is pink sauce? Regardless of first impressions, the condiment is not some limited-time-only gimmick from a fast food chain. Neither is it the latest craze in slime, a prop food from some wacky 80s movies version of the future, nor a science experiment gone wrong. At least, hopefully not. Pink sauce is an edible, and yes, pink, condiment that comes from the mind of TikToker Chef P. The Miami-based private chef started posting the sauce in June 2022. And from its online inception, the hypnotically vibrant condiment seemed to stir a different reaction in everyone. For some, that reaction was intrigue, with one user writing, "I just want to know what the flavor is." But other reactions tilted more towards nausea. It would throw me off and I would start gagging, I don't know. There was something about the sauce's blinding pigment that many just couldn't look past. As one user put it, "I just can't get over the color. When something edible is an odd color, I just can't eat it." But whether the response was a tentative yes or an immediate no, there was no denying that pink sauce provoked a reaction. And just like cake disguised as a household item, a botched dye job, or a unique makeup method, there is an inherent virality to the almost luminous liquid. The pink sauce provided a wave of social media influence that Chef P was determined to ride, even if that meant diving in before she learned how to swim.
I'm a creator, I'm an artist, so I love art and I love color, I love food.
Nothing in the chef's virtual history could have prepared her for the level of attention she was now receiving. Chef P's YouTube channel, where she posted dieting advice, health tips, and other content, still hadn't hit the 4,000 follower mark after 4 years.
Oh, what is up, y'all? It's your girl, Carly P, and I am back with another video.
But on TikTok, it only took a few posts featuring her signature eye-catching condiment to attract an audience. Now the creator just had to find a way to strike while her engagement was up. On June 17th, Chef P posted a video pouring the tinted sauce into bottles. She humbly described her invention as edible and natural. Who wants to try it? The creator asked her followers. The video quickly collected over 100,000 views, although some were still firm in their anti-pink sauce stance. Others just wanted the creator to tell them what ingredients lurked in the pink goo. Rather than reply to these questions, Chef P continued to slather the pink sauce onto every snack she could, and hint at an upcoming launch with videos packaging the condiment into bottles with the big bolded letters, pink sauce. One viewer commented, "That doesn't look like it should be going into my body," while another limited their response to 2 words, unmake it. Pre-sale for the first 100 bottles of pink sauce started on June 25th, and without knowing anything beyond the color of the condiment, the $20 bottles were snatched up within 3 days.
The pink sauce sold.
The orders were set to ship July 1st, the same day as the official launch. In the meantime, Chef P's taste testers were all giving the product favorable reviews.
Thanks so much, girl. This is definitely a 10 out of 10.
And even kids were quick to hype the sauce up.
If you don't like it, like, it don't matter. I want y'all opinion. Like, I want y'all to be honest.
But there was one question the chef's videos left unanswered.
No, that shit good for real. Yeah, that shit is good.
What did the sauce taste like? Chef P wasn't providing any insight.
Honestly, it has its own taste. If you want to taste it, buy it.
And the descriptors from the creator's test subjects left more than a little to the imagination.
It is sweet, savory, seasoned really well. I love it. It tastes spicy.
Savory, seasoned, spicy, sweet, and ranch-like. All of these flavors made sense on their own, but what would a combination taste like? In an effort to paint a clearer picture for potential customers, Chef P released the ingredients for pink sauce. According to the creator, the condiment contained sunflower seed oil, honey, chili, garlic, and as for what provided the condiment's polarizing color, dragon fruit. The website disclosed further ingredients, including water, distilled vinegar, pink Himalayan sea salt, dried spices, lemon juice, milk, and citric acid. One user commented, "These flavors are so random, I can't even guess what it tastes like." Chef P replied, "That's what I'm saying, LOL, it's worth a try though." Another user raised a more serious concern, commenting, "What are you using to make the product shelf stable?" There had to be some component that kept the milk and pink sauce from going rancid before delivery, didn't there? Finally, viewers started receiving their orders.
I've been hearing about this pink sauce thing that's been going around, everybody, hyping this pink sauce up and everything. But the catch is, like, nobody's made a review of it, about like what it tastes like, what it smells like. I just keep hearing, oh, it's good, it's good, it's good. So,
as for what the sauce tasted like,
imagine like if you would have like a milder ranch, and then you would add like, some sweetness and a little kick of some spice. That's the pink sauce. That's what it is.
And the verdict?
When I first got it, it wasn't really that good. I was like, it's a little off, but I let it cool down in the fridge and stuff, and it wasn't bad.
Other buyers agreed that the sauce was similar to ranch, with mixed levels of satisfaction with their impulse purchases.
It's like watered down ranch, just like everyone's saying, but yeah, there's like a sweet aftertaste that is not good. Like, I would not eat this on my pizza. I wouldn't dip my chicken nuggets in it. It's not bad. Definitely not worth $20 a bottle.
It's like a sweet seasoned ranch. That's what it tastes like to me. But since it's made with oil, it's a lot more like buttery and oily than ranch. Like, it's not nasty, it's good.
Viewers expressed their gratitude for the reviews, with one commenting, "Thank you, Tribute." In fact, it seemed the pink sauce was becoming more of a fear factor level challenge than a splurge-worthy condiment. One user commented on a review, "At least you get to be a part of the lawsuit." Another said, $20 bottled E. coli? You're brave. But were these fears justified? Well, the lack of consistency in the color of the pink sauce that ranged from hot fuchsia to pale pink failed to put viewers at ease. Despite Chef P's insistence, there was no change in color.
The color didn't change, just the lighting.
And then there were claims viewers simply weren't buying, like that the sauce had any health benefits when ingredients didn't seem to back that up. But as more information came out, an inconsistency in color and a lack of nutritious value appeared to be the least damaging allegations surrounding pink sauce. When TikTok user Sean, or Sean SVV, stumbled across some concerning claims made by pink sauce, they felt it was their duty to inform their followers as well as Chef P.
Because if someone gets sick from this, I am scared for the person who gets sick and the person who owns this business.
According to Sean, there were discrepancies in the nutritional information on the bottle that just didn't add up.
But I'm seeing so many errors in this nutritional label, seeing 444 servings, which is 14.4 grams, which almost makes 6,300 something grams in a full bottle, which is inaccurate.
Some have suggested the 444 servings are spiritual rather than factual. Angel numbers are repeating digits some believe are messages from a higher power. Another example of an angel number could be 11:11 a.m., the exact time Chef P chose to officially launch her sauce on July 1st. It's a nice idea if the servings truly did align with an angel number. But when the 444 servings at 90 calories add up to a condiment that's over 39,000 calories a bottle, it appears pink sauce's nutritional accuracy has been sacrificed. In addition to the miscalculations, the label also included misspellings, suggesting a level of carelessness that was a dangerous character flaw for any small business.
And if these small details were overlooked, I'm looking at quality control now. I'm kind of scared.
But a TikToker called Food Science Babe pointed out that mislabelings weren't necessarily cause for alarm.
Incorrect nutrition labels are not uncommon, specifically with small producers. Sometimes they don't have the resources to have a consultant do this for them, so they find something online where they make a nutrition panel and it's incorrect. I see it a lot with small companies.
And although viewers were concerned about the sauce including milk, not every sauce that includes dairy has to be refrigerated before opening.
A sauce like this can be shelf stable. I mean, there's a lot of sauces out there that have milk ingredients, egg ingredients. Ranch is an example of one that are shelf stable until you open them, and then you need to refrigerate them after that.
According to Clemson University's Home and Garden Information Center, when a product includes milk, even at low concentrations, there's a possibility for foodborne illness if the proper measures aren't taken. Although anyone can become sick when food is incorrectly stored, infants, pregnant women, the elderly, and the chronically ill are especially at risk. But according to this TikToker, it seemed the label on pink sauce was about as forthcoming with information on storage as the blank care instructions on the website.
This contains milk in it. Milk products usually need to be refrigerated. There is nothing in the label about refrigeration, nor is there an expiration date on the label.
But how much milk exactly was in the product? The tub in this video was not indicative of a small amount, or was that not milk at all? A creator who prided themselves on their unique talent wasn't convinced it was.
I'm really good with dressings.
According to the TikToker who goes by the Sauce Boss, dressings, not including vinaigrettes, typically fall into two categories: mayo-based or mustard-based.
The reason that most dressings, non-vinaigrette dressings, use either mayo or mustard is because it acts as a binding agent.
This prevents the separation between ingredients you would see in dressings that combine oil and vinegar, two ingredients allegedly in pink sauce. The Sauce Boss admitted the honey in pink sauce could work in place of mayo, but using enough mayo to bind the condiment would change the color.
It wouldn't be this light. Also, if you were using enough honey to actually bind the ingredients, it would be thicker than this.
And when the Sauce Boss saw the video of Chef P making the sauce, his suspicions seemed confirmed.
So I was thinking there has to be mayo, or at the very least mustard in it. And then I came across this video, which you see something that looks an awful lot like mayo.
If the recipe didn't involve mayo, the Sauce Boss still believed there was something not adding up in the pink sauce equation.
At the very least, she is using something that's not here to give it that particular color and consistency.
Viewers were also concerned that Chef P was making the sauce in her house rather than a licensed kitchen. But, as Sean mentioned, this was not necessarily illegal.
And there's something called Cottage law. It allows you to sell these items out of your kitchen with regulations. Cakes, cookies, cupcakes, pies, jams, preserves, stuff that goes on top of food, stuff like that.
Cottage food laws exist for small-scale operations that don't have the money or manpower to produce at a higher level to use their home kitchens over a licensed kitchen. Naturally, these laws have caused debate. Some believe cottage food laws are essential in allowing small producers a chance to compete with big businesses. Others believe the risk of contamination is too high. It's worth noting that cottage food laws only pertain to low-risk food, such as baked goods, jams, nut mixes, and other foods that aren't likely to be contaminated. This means meat, dairy, eggs, and other food that can be easily contaminated are typically exempt from cottage food laws. According to Food Safety News, a good indicator of whether a food can be sold under most cottage food laws is refrigeration. Generally, if a food requires refrigeration, such as a meringue pie, then it is high risk and cannot be sold. Products that are shelf-stable can contain eggs and dairy while still falling under cottage food laws. Additionally, cottage food laws mainly pertain to small-scale operations where the food is sold directly to neighbors or through farmers markets, where consumers can receive first-hand information about how the food was prepared and stored. Although laws vary from state to state, many don't allow e-commerce or sales that cross state lines. When a business exceeds $250,000 annually, they outgrow cottage law, and Chef P's annual gross sales have exceeded this amount. Home kitchens are also not totally private. The Department of Health or Agriculture often has to approve these kitchens and oversee the business. There are also labeling requirements, including names and addresses of who produced the product, ingredients, measurements, and a statement letting the buyer know it was made in a home kitchen. So, would pink sauce fall under cottage food laws or not? Well, that depends. If pink sauce is shelf-stable, it could be considered a low-risk food, but labeling issues as well as state-specific rules around online sales that cross state lines might have Chef P's precious condiment outside the protection of cottage food laws. Chef P would later address the rumors around these laws, but before that, there's also still the question of whether pink sauce is as shelf-stable as the way it's being delivered would suggest. The sauce has been packaged in what appears to be regular polymailers, not the refrigerated containers you'd want to see in a non-shelf-stable product. As one Twitter user wrote, "Y'all after eating TikTok pink sauce with Shein packaging." And there was another issue: the weather. North America has experienced record-breaking heat waves this summer, leaving cool temperature-dependent packages vulnerable in a long, hot shipping process. One Twitter user criticized the hypocrisy: unvaccinated because you don't know what's in it, but you're eating pink internet mayo sauce shipped to you unrefrigerated in a heat wave. Another wrote, "Wait, so y'all paying $30 to have some random woman ship y'all some secret pink sauce she made in her kitchen, clear across the country through USPS in this heat? How could pink sauce withstand the over 100-degree heat it could be exposed to throughout delivery? According to TikTok, it couldn't."
Oh my god. Look at this! It don't even say pink sauce on this
It turned out pink sauce didn't bask in the sun. It bubbled. Customers uploaded videos of their exploded containers with reports that they smelled rotten. The packages, which were set to ship on July 1st, didn't arrive until late July, giving ample time for contamination. High standards may be arbitrary when it comes to taste, texture, and presentation, but consumers should always have high standards when it comes to safety. Food poisoning, though a running gag in sitcoms and films, can have serious consequences that aren't settled after a few hours in the bathroom. Sepsis, kidney failure, and nervous system damage are just a few of the reasons approximately 3,000 people pass away from food poisoning annually. In pink sauce's case, there are also concerns about botulism, a bacteria that releases a toxin that targets a person's nerves, the result of improper preservation, fermentation, or canning practices. The toll botulism takes on the human body can be fatal. In food like this, when you see low-acid foods like raw garlic or dragon fruit being put in a high oil content, we've seen similar products lead to botulism in the past without any acidification of those low-acid foods, Food and Safety Specialist Benjamin Chapman told Health.com. Some people say on TikTok that when the bottle is opened up, it pops or fizzes, or a gas formed. That's an indication that there could be a growth of pathogens. Darren Detweiler is deeply familiar with the lethal effects of food poisoning. He lost his 16-month-old to an E. coli outbreak after the toddler got a secondary infection from another child who had contaminated ground beef. This experience motivated Darren to become a food policy safety expert, making it his obligation to educate the public on the possible dangers of the viral pink sauce. According to Darren, trusting an influencer enough to buy your food from them is on the same level of finding a really good deal on some steaks you bought from a guy in the back of his pickup down the highway. With pink sauce, there's no indication a control method is in place to keep the product from spoiling and allowing the pathogens that cause botulism to grow, the food policy safety expert told News at Northeastern. But Darren noted outcry only seems to follow consequences in such situations. Most of these cases could have been prevented. The sad part of this, what I've seen for 3 decades, is that every time we talk about changes in policy, it comes after consumers have already been harmed, he told the Northeastern University paper. And when it comes to pink sauce, are we too late? According to stories spreading across social media, the condiment has allegedly started claiming its first victims. In a viral Reddit post, a person claimed they had noticed a charge on their credit card they couldn't account for. It wasn't until their 15-year-old daughter was allegedly rushed to the hospital that they realized what it had been used for, a sauce with a pink hue. Her condition is bad. Doctor said she should be fine, but she's not out of the woods yet, the Redditor wrote. As for more information about the purchased condiment, they claimed, "I checked the label that was adhered to the bottle with glitter. The ingredients was misspelled and the nutrition facts looked like a 5-year-old made it. What the f did my daughter just buy that could have killed her?" But from the forced parental tone to the tangent about making the daughter pay the hospital bills, something about the post was noticeably off. One Reddit user commented, It's absolutely fake. It hits on every single talking point that the TikToks exposing the pink sauce situation have made. Others accuse the post of being an attempt to get positive Reddit karma, which are upvotes that lead to a post being more visible. Commenters pointed out the Redditor made a new account just to make the post. The post was later removed by moderators, but there were more allegations of pink sauce poisoning popping up online. One TikToker even posted from inside a hospital.
Y'all really need to stop buying these pink sauce from that girl on TikTok. Look where I ended up.
The user promised a story time and later claimed the sauce had given them food poisoning, leading to them retching a yellow liquid they assumed to be the oil.
Guys, I'm about to get discharged today. I had real bad food poisoning. It was a very liquid yellowish type of throw up.
Overall, viewers were unsympathetic. One commented, "Yeah, well, this is what you get from buying something off of TikTok." Others were convinced the story was untrue, given the sparse details and the fact that these were the only videos the user had on their profile. I think this is a lie. I want to see emails of order confirmation, tracking, orders on bank statements, all the evidence. But if allegations of hospitalizations were damaging to Pink Sauce's brand, what would happen if the rumors took a more fatal spin? When this TikToker went missing after his hospital visit, viewers assumed the worst.
I literally feel like I have to go to the bathroom like every 15 minutes. And I look like I got hit by a bus, like, I feel really warm.
But in another case of crying wolf, the TikToker was very much alive. In fact, he had never been sick in the first place.
Sorry if I scared y'all. I mean, that was my intent, but like not like this.
He also had apologies for Chef P, and an explanation.
Sorry if this scared you at all or impacted your business in any way. That was never my intent. The opposite, actually. This was meant to be a full social experiment to see how quickly other people could spread misinformation.
But what the TikToker did wasn't just a prank. To some, it looked a lot like defamation.
I want to go on record and say, because people are saying that she wants to sue me, I have never tried pink sauce. I have never bought pink sauce. I am in no way affiliated with pink sauce.
The creator went over the loopholes that could get him out of a lawsuit, including that pink sauce isn't trademarked, meaning he could have been talking about any pink condiment. This, along with other instances of careful word choice, the TikToker believed would protect him from allegations of defamation.
I never said that I was dying or anything like that. I just said in loving memory. Yes, that implies death, and I understand that's wrong, and a lot of y'all are probably like, oh my god, but I was never ill.
But what did Chef P think about people bashing her business for online clout? Safe to say the creator wasn't thrilled. "They accused me of poisoning a nation," Chef P told Vice's tech department Motherboard. "I'm having to deal with the backlash from a mistake that I didn't even make." And it didn't seem like the chef was in any mood to forgive the TikToker who had faked passing away from the pink sauce. The apology wasn't genuine. Not only did it affect my business, but my children had seen that video before I saw that. So I had to come home to my child thinking that I had ended somebody. I'm like, what? Chef P told Motherboard. "I've been to therapy, thank God. I've practiced healthy mental exercises. However, now it's affecting my children. I'm not tolerating it anymore. I know I'm not doing anything wrong behind closed doors. They can't bully me." Bullying? Maybe. At the very least, there seemed to be a clear social media pylon. But was pink sauce truly above board? Chef P hasn't shied away from defending her sauce online.
People are hating for no reason, but yeah, the pink sauce is amazing.
At the same time, the creator had made sure to acknowledge those who have supported her through the allegations.
I just want to say thank you so much to the positive people that are supporting the movement, supporting my creativity.
And Chef P hasn't only been vocal on TikTok, she's also been attempting to clear her name to the media. In an interview with the Daily Dot, Chef P acknowledged typos in the labeling. "Our nutrition fact label had an error in it, and now they're trying to carry it along and say the nutrition is falsified because there's a typo. No one will receive a bottle that has the messed up label. We had to redo everything pretty much, but business is business," she told the outlet. The chef clarified that the milk the product contained was dried and less than 2%. She also claimed the citric acid and vinegar in the sauce acted as natural preservatives that kept the condiment safe during shipment. And when it came to the memes pink sauce inspired, Chef P seemed almost proud of the virtual lashing. "I'm like, this is the Madonna, this is the Beyonce of those sauces," the creator told NBC News. As for the sauce's changing color, Chef P claimed that earlier sauces had been prototypes, and the color had been adapted to her audience's preference. In an interview with Glamour, the chef elaborated on the decision to lighten the sauce, which ultimately had to do with the after effects of eating a dragon fruit heavy sauce. It's like if you eat too much beets. So I didn't want people like, oh, my shit is pink. The chef claimed the production of pink sauce is currently on pause while it goes through laboratory testing. The hopeful outcome of the tests being that the creator could find a way to sell the sauce in stores, according to a since-deleted TikTok. NBC could not confirm the alleged lab testing, as Chef P was waiting for the results before she disclosed the name of the facility. But the need for testing, the changes in color, the incoherent nutritional label, all of this was implied to be a part of the brand's self-discovery, a journey that was only just beginning. The pink sauce has only been a product for 20 days, literally. We have been going through trial and error just like any other business, Chef P told Glamour. But could this trial and error be a sign pink sauce wasn't ready for public consumption? You don't go to market when you're in a trial phase, Darren Detweiler told News at Northeastern. Yet it sounded like this was exactly what Chef P had done. But the creator was quick to respond to any flaws in the sauce's rollout. When bottles leaked, Chef P refunded the alleged 50 customers who were impacted and took responsibility. It was our fault, Chef P told Glamour. We should have used boxes instead of bags. Still, there was a lack of transparency over what exactly pink sauce was made of. I'm not gonna address my process, just because of legal purposes with my trademark and stuff like that, Chef P told the magazine. Although she implied those who claimed to know what the sauce was made of had no clue what was really inside. Their production of my process is absolutely wrong. I'm being judged from a video that I made before the pink sauce was a product. It seems Chef P felt the public scrutiny over her condiment was overkill. The world is really curious about my creation, and they're being malicious, she told the Washington Post. Still, Chef P had supporters that allowed her to sell an alleged 700 bottles of the pink fluid. And it seemed all the discussion surrounding cottage food laws was for nothing, as the chef claimed her sauce was produced in a commercial, FDA-approved kitchen. And speaking of the FDA, the federal agency was about to appear at the creator's doorstep. On July 22nd, Chef P went live on Instagram with a special guest star, an FDA representative.
We haven't shipped out any packages since, we have became aware of this issue, and we fixed the packaging as well.
Okay. Well, on the business card has my email address. Any changes you make to your label before you wait to spend money creating something that might not be accurate yet. If you have like a draft copy, you could send it.
Chef P seemed grateful for the guidance.
He's gonna help me. Yeah. Thank y'all. Y'all got me help from the FDA.
Now, it seemed any suspicion over pink sauce dodging health codes and protocol could be put to bed.
I just wanted to verify to you guys that I am a legitimate business, and yes, the FDA did come to my house, and I do not operate my business here, and we are getting everything corrected properly. Have a great day.
Chef P spoke about her new working relationship with the FDA with Motherboard. I am 100% compliant. I'm abiding with the FDA, she told the magazine. The chef was convinced that from now on, there would be no serious allegations against the pink sauce. I'm not in trouble. I'm not going to jail. Nobody can accuse the pink sauce of anything going forward. But the chef still felt she had been persecuted by the public. They ridiculed Jesus, so who among us? The creator told Motherboard. But according to a clip from a July 21st live stream, Chef P hadn't always had a relationship with the FDA, or the strongest grasp on what the agency was responsible for.
What do you mean FDA approved? I don't sell medical products. The pink sauce don't contribute to your health. I never said that. Did I?
The chef wasn't entirely off base. The FDA doesn't have to approve foods before they go to market. Although when issues with food safety come up, the agency does have the power to step in. Still, Twitter had a field day with the creator's remark. One user asked, what she thought the F meant, pharmaceutical? Another pointed out the red flag this should be for those who purchased the pink sauce, tweeting, y'all was buying food from a TikTok lady that couldn't tell you what FDA stands for. The video soon went viral, leading to F in FDA trending on Twitter. And for anyone who was still uncertain, Uberfax tweeted, the F in FDA stands for food. That same day, Chef P posted a since-deleted 52-minute YouTube video. Y'all really just gotta give me a break. Y'all gotta stop this negativity, she told viewers. According to Chef P, She had first-hand experience dealing with someone with allergies, making food safety a top priority.
And we care about y'all health concerns. My son is, go get your EpiPen, please. My son carries an EpiPen with him to school every single day. We can't even go to Benihana's. I can't even go to Benihana's without my son having a panic attack or something.
On July 27th, an email went out to every Pink Sauce customer with a subject line that read, "Urgent update." The email claimed the creator was still working to ensure each customer's safety after the allegations that had called the Pink Sauce's integrity into question. She confirmed she was working with the FDA along with the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. The email went on to say the product's packaging was being updated and, despite what earlier videos of her making the sauce might suggest, it contained no raw garlic, an ingredient that has been linked to botulism when not handled properly. Pink Sauce also now has terms and conditions, including the previously absent instruction to refrigerate after use and the refund policy that does not include willingly opened seals. So, what does the future of Pink Sauce look like? As discussion on social media persists, Chef P has continued promoting her sauce and posting positive reviews.
It's a buzz. This is good.
But with the sale of the product on an indefinite pause as it undergoes lab testing, would Pink Sauce ever return to market? Or was the condiment destined to fade from cultural relevance, like the Technicolor memories of Heinz Easy Squirt Ketchup or Pepsi Blue? Not so fast. Chef P had an announcement.
I know y'all been wondering where I'm at, where's Chef P, and what's going on with Pink Sauce, and why is the Pink Sauce sold out?
The TikToker had partnered with Dave's Gourmet, a company famous for Dave's Insanity Sauce, known as the world's hottest sauce for a time.
I'll have the opportunity to collaborate with food experts with over 100 years experience in the commercial food industry combined.
Chef P thanked everyone who had stuck beside her during Pink Sauce's bumpy launch.
I'm so excited about the growth and scaling of the sauce and the Pink universe and the boys and the girls that support the movement.
With the help of Dave's Gourmet, it seemed Pink Sauce would be on the cusp of taking the leap from Twitter punchline to trusted condiment staple.
Thank you so much, Dave's Gourmet, for believing in me and supporting my dream, and it's go time.
In the caption, Chef P wrote, "I will be working with Dave's Gourmet to bring my brand into FDA compliance quickly and accurately. We will work hand in hand to ensure we have a shelf-stable formula that tastes great and follows the rules. Watch my entrepreneurial journey while we turn the Pink Sauce into a household name the right way with Dave's Gourmet help by focusing on bringing my vision to the market safely." Although some viewers believe Dave's Gourmet was risking their reputation by collaborating with the TikToker, others were proud of how far Chef P had come. One user commented, "This is great news. Let this woman be great now and be educated on how to make the sauce without spoilage. That's all everyone wanted." Another wrote, "I don't know why people are hating. She's actually going about it the right way now, and it'll be safe to eat and probably a lot cheaper." Pending lab results, FDA approval, and possible lawsuits, the fate of Pink Sauce still hangs in the balance. But if Pink Sauce is greenlit and Chef P is able to release a certifiably safe version of her condiment, could there be a future where everyone wins? Or after everything that's happened, is Pink Sauce beyond redemption? It's hard for a brand to rebuild a damaged reputation.
That label is not correct. Which means, is anything else on the label actually correct?
And even harder to regain trust.
She's definitely not telling us the full ingredients list.
In order for Pink Sauce to have a future, consumers have to reckon with one major question. Is forgiveness possible when an individual learns their lesson?
So yeah, y'all see? Legitimate business.
Only after they have put others in harm's way. Only time will tell if the sauce will live up to its viral name. This is the story of Pink Sauce, the condiment that exposed the dangers of food production.